this one first test cases we have written. Okay, now I want to write a test case for second one. Log in with invalid username and or valid username and invalid password. Okay, so obviously same set of test step will involved in the login, but the test data will be different. Okay, now here what is happening, you see that if I am calling this username, sorry, if I am calling this login method, I have hard coded the valid username and password. So can we modify it and optimize this code actually, because if I call this login method with under this test case invalid valid username and invalid password, it will call the valid username and valid password. So in order to do so, let me parameterize it so that I can reuse the same method but with different test data. String password. Okay, now username you can paste it here and password you can paste it here. Okay, now let's go back to our test case page, and here we can simply pass the valid username. In the first test case I can pass like this, then for second one and for login with valid username and invalid password, we can simply pass the valid username but invalid password. So invalid password we can give special characters. Okay, so assume that the as per the requirement the invalid password will not contain the special character. Okay, so valid password will not contain the special character, so if you give any special character in your password, it will not allow. Okay, that's what the test case says, valid username invalid password. Now here I have already created the object of test login, sorry, login test case page, and here I'm going to call the method test case. So this is my test case 2. You can make the change here, test case 2, copy and paste it here. Okay, now let's run this program. It will first execute your valid username and password. This one is first test case, this one is second test case. Okay, but here if you see it will not allow because of invalid. So this way we have improved our code. Earlier we have hard coded. Earlier it was actually taking the valid user and password. Now we have parameterized the login method. Now using this same login method, I can use it anywhere, wherever I want, just by passing the test data. Okay, now you guys, you can make the change in login page and write. Now you can write for three more test cases, like test case with valid username and invalid password, invalid username and valid password, and third one invalid. One more thing you guys can add is here. Here if you see that every time whenever executing my program, it is launching the browser but not closing it actually. Here if you see that. So if you do like this, your memory will get full because lot of browser instances will be opened. So in order to avoid, what we want to do is, after doing all the test steps, after login with the valid username password, what we can do, we can simply close the browser and destroy the web driver instance. So here, using the quit method, which is present inside this WebDriver interface, you can destroy the WebDriver object and as well as close the browser. Okay, now if I run my program, it will perform all the test steps, and then it will simply close your browser. Okay, now it has closed successfully. These are the previous ones. So it will happen so fast that you will not able to see actually.